Assalamu alaikum. Dr. Abdur Rahman Abd addressing you from New York. This is the blessed month of Ramadan, and there is a whole lot of discussion going on across this country and probably across the world about the beginning of Ramadan. As we are migrating out of Muslim majority countries, these challenges definitely are before us, and we have to become much more science oriented, and science has to become much more Islam oriented. That process has been started for the last 30 to 40 years. We in New York seem to have solved it, but then again new immigrants come from Islamic speaking countries. They bring in their traditions and their ways of life and the way they conduct themselves with them, and a new education has to get started. The things to remember are that the days of the week necessarily are not necessarily going to be the same on one Islamic calendar date. In other words, an Islamic date like Yakam Ramzan could fall on Monday in one place, Sunday in another, and this has to be understood because these are two different systems, solar and lunar. In lunar system, the date begins with the night, early evening, and then followed by the day. And the other thing that one has to know is that science has been telling people the terms like new moon, and they really did not have an idea that Islamic calendar starts with a visible crescent moon. 1 to 2% of the rim of the moon has to be visible for the Islamic calendar month to start. And then again, the rotation of the earth and the shape like an egg of an earth also makes it a little bit difficult for the scientists to be sure that the moon will be on the horizon several minutes after sunset and its proper amount of crescent will be visible and shining. All of that required scientific improvement. Also in the beginning they really misguided us by saying beginning of new moon, and we started to begin our fast. But then over the years we have trained them. Now US Observatory and other observatories now that are privately owned have started to give that information. But that information now has to be absorbed by all of us gradually. However, let me state this. There are so many people that call themselves Islamic scholars. People have a habit of following them blindly. Remember, this is not a scholarly issue for Islam. Islam is clear. See the crescent and begin your month. The only problem is that scholars have to know that it's really different in different parts of the globe, and that people should follow wherever they live. If you're living in Canada or New York and you have a different crescent formation timing here, it will be appropriate to follow it here. In so doing, people really have to accept this universally in such a way that even scholars have a realization that scientific facts are different in different parts of the world. But let me also finally say that even if you are here and even if you follow, in your heart, if you feel that you are doing the right by following whatever Saudi Arabia says, it's good for you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is there to accept it from you because you're doing it what you feel is the best. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's your niyyah that counts. Similarly, if some two people living in the neighborhood, one is beginning Ramadan on Monday, the other one is Tuesday, do not have an argument with each other, because if that person feels in their heart that they are doing right, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept it. This may be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's way of keeping us challenged all the time, so that we are not necessarily ritualized in a certain way, that we feel that this is the only possible way, nothing else is possible. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most merciful, most forgiving, most understanding, and that He has designed this. And also remember, He is in control. If He wanted to change our minds and make us all into one, He could have done that. But these challenges must continue on. So just be patient, be nice to each other, be accommodative, and understand that as we progress, science will catch on to Islam and we'll be hopefully on the right track eventually. Jazakumullahu khair. Assalamu alaikum.